The Buffalo Bills just got the absolute perfect update heading into their week 1 matchup against the Baltimore Ravens. And this is going to be a clash of titans. This is going to be a battle of 2 heavyweight champions. In some way, this is going to be an insane game to start the year. The best game of the week, of course, because our Bills are playing, but of course, because this is 2 top 4 teams in the NFL going at it on Sunday Night Football. But Bills Mafia, what if I were to tell you that Vegas did something to Buffalo that they have not had done to them since 2020 in the last 5 years? You want to know what it is the Vegas odds put the Buffalo Bills at home as the non-favorite against the Baltimore Ravens. But the perfect update is this: the odds just flipped back in Buffalo's favor. And so we have to ask the question, did Vegas make a mistake, or are the Bills actually going to go and win this game and actually shock the world? Of course, we want the Bills to win, but what's going to happen? Why did the odds shift? Stick with me today. We're going to break down the updates. We're going to break down the injuries, the blueprint, and ultimately why Josh Allen under the lights is just built different. But hey, my name is Colin. This is Crack the Table. We are all Bills, no breaks every single day. We're dropping new videos every single day. We're dropping new content, having new conversations. But hey, if you are a diehard Buffalo Bills fan, just right now, it takes a second, just smash the like button. It helps me out. This is just a fan-driven channel getting going. And I'll be honest with you guys, I'm having some great conversations with a lot of you. I'm just absolutely humbled to be able to do this and to make videos each and every day. It's been so fun to connect with more and more Bills fans all the way around the world, just hearing of the different stories of how people became Bills fans and everything in between. But yeah, I'm just so humbled. But hey, let's get into this update. Let's talk about it right away here. So what again is the perfect update? The perfect update was that we are now betting favorites again to win the Baltimore Ravens. It's been 5 years since we weren't betting favorites in a game outside of a playoff game last year. But hey, we've got these 2 heavyweight teams. We've got the Baltimore Ravens versus Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. But it's a rematch of that playoff thriller from last year. Mark Andrews came one drop short of tying the game at the end of that game last year. And you know what? We've got guys like Derrick Henry, who's coming in fresh, who's just been an unstoppable force these last few years outside of just a couple games here or there. He is running behind one of the best offensive lines in football. It's a nationally televised game. 70,000 people in Orchard Park. The whole country and the whole world who's watching football is going to be watching this game. It's going to be insane. But again, this is 2 heavyweights. Buffalo Bills last year were absolutely dominant at home, 8-0 in the regular season, 33 points per game at home at Highmark, right? But versus the Baltimore Ravens, who had a lot of road dominance for themselves. They had a league best 18.5 points per game that they won by on the road. Something has to give. But the question for us here, which is where I think the betting lines change, what if one team lost a couple of their key players going into week 1? What if one team actually had a couple guys get injured? And you know who is injured? Isaiah Likely and Patrick Ricard. Those key members of the heavy offensive sets for the Baltimore Ravens have been declared out. We knew that Isaiah Likely was hurt, but we didn't know about Patrick Ricard. We didn't know that he was going to miss this game, and he is an underrated asset for the Baltimore Ravens as their fullback. Baltimore led the NFL last year in heavy sets with Ricard and Likely out, their 2 tight end sets, and also some of their heavier formations that are running downhill are going to change. Their engine, their force is going to change. Derrick Henry might not be as good as he was last year because they're missing 2 pieces on their offense. So both of these guys are out. Meanwhile, Buffalo at the same time, if we look at this, we know that Matt Milano's fully healthy, that Terrell Bernard is cleared and ready to go. We know that our wide receivers are trending up in Keon Coleman and Khalil Shakir. They're both practicing this week. But imagine with me if Baltimore is trying to build a house, but the foundational pieces are missing. What's going to happen if you build your house on a sandy foundation? If you don't have a strong built-in concrete rock foundation, you are going to fall. Their heavy sets might be vanishing. They might not have all the pieces they need to run their offense in the way that Todd Monken has been running it over the last few years. Again, here, Baltimore loses 2 key pieces of their offensive identity going into week 1 against the Buffalo Bills. But why does this matter? Again, Buffalo has been non-betting favorites at home since 2020. Vegas flipped the odds in the favor of the Ravens when Tre'Davious White was listed as doubtful, and when some of the Benford news and some of the other injury news was coming out. We were kind of doom and gloom again here for us on the Bills side. But again, Lamar is if Lamar was throwing to backups all night, that would be worrisome. But just an aside, Benford was a full participant in practice on Friday, which means that he's most likely going to be a full go on Sunday night, which really matters. He is our star corner right now. We just paid him the money. But again, the public were seeing the Ravens juggernaut against a broken Bills secondary, but that is not the case. They're missing just as many key pieces on their offense as we are fighting for and missing on our defense. Baltimore can't just line up and have their identity be the same if they're missing key pieces. Right? Again, picture Lamar without his toolbox. He's missing extra blockers. He's got no second tight end and a very good tight end at that as a safety valve. Now picture Milano tracking Lamar, Russo and Oliver collapsing the pockets on the inside, and Joey Bosa working as a technician again outside. He is going to get after the quarterback. He needs to get 2 or 3 sacks this game. A lot of pressures, but 2 or 3 sacks this game to really seal the deal. But again, Bills Mafia, what scares you more? Is it Lamar kind of playing off script without some of these offensive weapons they have, or is it still their run game in Derrick Henry? Do any of the receivers on the Baltimore Ravens scare you going into week 1? Let me know what you think down in the comments. But again, Josh Allen under the lights is just a whole different animal. Last postseason, he only threw, of course, 127 yards, but he still had those 2 touchdowns and no turnovers. And the Ravens were absolutely pushing with a level of grit to try to stop him in the passing game. But here is what matters, I think, most. When Josh Allen gets down into the red zone, there's nobody that can stop him. We, as the Bills last year, were the 2nd-ranked touchdown scoring team in the red zone at 71.6% of the trips. But Baltimore Ravens, they were kind of the other side of this, the rock and the hard place. They were the other side of this, where they were a top 5 team against red zone touchdowns. And so the question is Josh Allen really going to have to carry this team down in the red zone, or is our offensive line, our tight ends, our wide receivers, our running back going to do the work? That's where I think, again, Allen is going to thrive. He's got a cannon of an arm. He can fit the window in those, or he can fit the ball in those turkey holes. He can launch it with a rocket of an arm, the lasers, the high-powered throws through anybody he needs to. But not only that, he can run through these linebackers. He can run through safeties and cornerbacks. He's just got to use his athleticism and his elite play to carry us down there in the red zone. But think of this, again, as maybe a poker table. Baltimore holds the flashy face cards. They've got some of these really good players, but Allen has the ace up his sleeve. He is absolutely the best player in the NFL. And when it comes to red zone decision making, and when it comes to the skill and ability, we have the offensive line and the ace up our sleeve of Josh Allen and who he is as the MVP reigning quarterback to make the plays when it really matters. Again, Allen bends games inside the red zone, inside the 20, because we, even last year, again, a top 2 red zone efficient team in the entire NFL last year. But hey, what's at stake? This game isn't just about week 1. It's about confidence. It's about week 1. Week 1's about momentum. If you haven't looked at the Baltimore schedule going into the next 6 games, you should go do that as a Bills fan. But looking at our schedule, this is a tone-setting game. This is where all of the eggs should be in our basket. We need to win this game because it really sets us up in the next section of games, this first section of the season, to have a level of dominance. We can win the first 6 games of our schedule without a doubt if we can push through this one. Yes, Baltimore has a firepower. Lamar is 10-5 against as an underdog, but you know what? We can still come out here blazing. We are the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills, we have not lost a game at home in 11 straight games, right? Think of the dominoes lined up. We can absolutely let this fall in our favor play after play. But again, drop your score prediction below. The Bills are 1.5 to cover against the Ravens going into this game. But hey, I'm calm. This is Crack the Table.